have to have some questions whereby the answers will be picked. Then we can easily see most of them that you come across in your questions. So, each of the houses dash a new look. That is a concord agreement. Each. When you use each of, then definitely you have a singular, which is indefinite subject. Say indefinite subject attracts singular verb. So when you use each of, one of, okay? Is that you use each of, or one of, or none of. So it's an indefinite. So irrespective of maybe the plurality you have here, houses, it doesn't concern the verb that should be used. So each of the, so that should take a singular verb. Each of the houses has a new look. Has being a singular verb is going to answer to be each, which is a singular subject. 3/4 of the people in the village dash killed, but only half of their huts dash affected. Of course, this is also on the agreement in Concord. That is agreement with half, percentage, quarters. Okay, when they are used for mass count entities, they use a plural verb. But when they are used for a singular entity, an entity that is taken as a whole, they use a singular verb. So here now is 3/4 of the people. This is mass count. 3/4 of the people in the village. So definitely we should have a plural verb here. Okay, 3/4 of the people in the village were killed. So it means option D and B are out of point, in as much as we have a mass count entity here. Now say, but only half of their huts. This is also mass count. But it being, I said, 3/4 of the people were there, but only half of the work. For instance, I say, okay, 3/4 of the workers have been paid, have been paid, because they are mass count. But only half of the work has been done, because work is a singular entity. Half of the house has been painted. However big the house is, you have half, there is a singular entity. But in as much as this is a mass count entity, huts, so it's also going to take a plural verb. So 3/4 of the people in the village were killed, but only half of their huts were affected. So they are going to go both in the plural form. The next question. The government, which dash recruiting workers, suddenly stopped doing so. Government is a sort of collective entity. So, and collective entities, we have cases where they take plural verbs. We have cases where they take singular verbs. Just like the former one I just treated. Government here is taken as an entity, as a whole. So collective. So it's going to take a singular verb here. So the government which was recruiting, because it has been in the past, which was recruiting workers suddenly stopped doing so. The government which was recruiting, then when it comes to the possessive that should be taken there. So since government is a non-human entity, then definitely we have its. So the government which was recruiting its workers, okay, that is option B, which was recruiting its workers suddenly stopped doing so. So, but had it been, we are talking about government as a sort of different entities, that is group of people coming together. It's just like, the government is just like committee. For an instance, I can say, oh, the committee is going to look into the matter. The committee has been set up to look into the matter, which is singular. But I can always ask you again that, where are the committee? That is the committee members. So in the first place, it's a singular entity being treated. But in the second place, I'm talking about each member that come together to be committee. So that is why you can see them taking singular verbs and plural verbs. But in this case, the government is a singular entity. Since it's a collective, then it has a non-entity, a non-human kind of possessive, which is its. Then 24. Neither matter nor her parents dash the meeting now. This is also concordance. Is a kind of rule that has to do with what we call the nearness or proximity agreement. So the subject nearest the verb determines the verb. So when you use correlative conjunctions, either of, neither nor, not only but also, the last person you mentioned as a subject will be the one to determine the verb. So neither Martha nor her parents, that's the meeting now. So it is parents. Parents having been plurals will take a plural verb here. So but had it been we have a singular entity here where parents are, then you are going to have a singular verb here. But we have parents there, then our verb here should be plurals. So the subject nearest the verb should be the one to determine the verb. So neither Martha nor her parents attend the meeting now. Because like you should always remember, plural lexical verbs will be without s, while the singulars take s. Now the next one, the teacher with his wife dash here. We have what we call first agreement, first subject agreement. So we have some first joiners with, in conjunction with, flanked by, in company of, as well as, alongside. When these entities are used, then definitely the first subject mentioned, the first person you mention will determine the verb. Irrespective of the number of people that later come to actually connote with the concept of the question, the first person mentioned, so the teacher, so the first person you mentioned before the joiner will be the one to determine the verb. So the teacher being a singular entity would determine the verb here. That is as opposed to that of nearness agreement. So the teacher with his wife dash here was, this is the only singular here. The teacher with his wife was here. So the teacher is the one that determines the verb. So and it's a singular teacher, hence we have a singular verb. So 26. Antipiece and chairperson of the occasion. Antipiece and chairperson of the occasion that just arrived. We have what we call Siamese subject. You are still talking about the same person. So using and. So of course, and is a true joiner. When you use and, it means you are having more than one person. But in this case, there are cases where you have, we call them some sort of, that is, the person you are still talking about is still the person you are referring to. So that's why we call it Siamese. That is, it is still the same person. Antipiece is as well as the chairperson. So antipiece is a singular entity. So it's also the chairperson. But had it been, the question read antipiece and the chairperson, if article D was included here, then definitely antipiece will be a different person from the chairperson. So it will be plural. But for this, antipiece and chairperson of the occasion has just arrived, which is a singular verb. Yes, Raphael is one of the boys who always dash good work. Raphael is one of the boys who always, Raphael truly, because this is mostly, it is a common question whereby having to choose, is it Raphael that should be you want to actually determine the verb or the boys? So, but in this case, say, is only one of them. So those boys are plural entity. So then definitely it is not Raphael here. It's only one of them. So they are all engaged in the action performed. Raphael is one of the boys who always do good work. But if they say Raphael is only one of them, that is the only person performing good action, so then definitely it will be those. But all of them are doing good work. And Raphael is one of them. So it is going to be a plural. So Raphael is one of the boys who always do good work. There. Then 28. Next question. If Itoha passes her exam, the parents, friends, teacher, or I dash to be praised. This is also nearness agreement that we talked about there. I told you nearness agreement or proximity. The subject near after or, no, but also will be the one to determine the verb. So looking at this one, if Itoha passes her exam, the parents, friends, teachers, or I is the last person mentioned. So which subject goes with I? That will be am. Teachers or I am to be praised. So in as much as I is the last person mentioned there, then definitely any verb that goes with I is going to be the answer. So, but it will be another kind of option had it been it were not I that was the last person. But in as much as you have I there, then am being the singular subject, first person that goes with I, then definitely it is going to determine the verb which is am in the present tense. All but Martins dash him. Now, unlike the previous question we treated them, all, now say but Martins dash him. All are doing that, but only Martins is not doing that. So, who is to be ascribed the kind of action performed? All but Martins. Only Martins is not the one is not doing that. All are doing that. So all but Martins. So definitely, since all are doing that, only Martins is not. So all will be the one to determine the verb. All but Martins know him. So it is only Martins that does not know him. Every other person knows. So all but Martins know him. Because this is a plural entity, so you should have a plural verb. Many a woman dash the man. We have agreement with many a. This is an indefinite subject. An indefinite subject takes a singular verb. So in situations where you see many a, and you should know the next kind of subject should be a singular. So the next verb should also be a singular verb. Many a woman loves the man. So the next verb should be a singular. Since you're having many a, which is an indefinite subject. So, number 31, she was dashed the verge of tears. This is question on preposition. So, that is agreeing prepositions. Which preposition should be used at a verge, or on the verge, or by the verge, or with the verge. So, but verge of tears here, since you are having verge here, so you say she was on the verge of tears. That is very closely to having to tear burst. So, she was on the verge of tears, option B. We stood up when the principal came in. That is question tags. We stood up when the principal came in. Now the question should be negative, since the statement is positive, as per the rules of question tags. Then the verbs used as well. We stood up, which is a lexical verb, a kind of principal verb there. We stood up, which is past tense, when the principal came in. Didn't we? That is, didn't we stand up? So that is why you have to put, by the time you pick your answers, you'll be able to finish up the question. We stood up when the principal came in. Didn't we? That is, didn't we stand up? So that brings option B an answer. Joy needn't come with us. This is also question tags. We have need here. According to the rules of question tags, when you use the word need, of course, it is part of modal auxiliaries. But when you use need or you use dear, they take lexical verbs. So they take verb do. So it's antagonistic to the other rules of modal auxiliaries, where you can say, oh, he can't come, can he? But in case you are having need now, you cannot say need she. So you have to take the verb back to a lexical verb. So it agrees with verb do. Joy needn't come with us. Does she? That is, does she need to come with us? So it shouldn't be, need she come with us? Joy needn't come with us. Does she? Does she will be because needn't here or dare not, they agree with lexical verbs. They work like lexicals other than modals. So that is why they take verb do. Then this is negative. Joy needn't come with us. Does she? That is, does she need to come with us? Paul asked me, dash, that is reported speech, what time it was. What is it by my time? What time is it? What time it is? Since it's a question tag, which is also called reported, that is reported speech, which is indirect form of speech, then every present will become past. So Paul asked me what time it was. So because the statement is already reporting an action that had been performed in the past. His wife was badly injured in the face, but I think she will pull dash. So having to say maybe you try to rejuvenate or you come back, that is to pull through. That is you pull through. That, oh, say, oh, how is it now? I'm pulling through. That is, you are getting yourself together. So you have through. Option C as your answer. Paper is made dash wood pulp. Made on, made of, made from, made with. Yes, something can be made of something and can be made from something. And of course with. But that is if the primary kind of source of the content you use in making a thing is what is asked, then it is made from. Just like wood pulp. That is, paper is made from wood pulp. But I can say, oh, my wristwatch is made of gold. That is not the only source material, the primary source material. So, but gold is part of what actually brought together, that is brought together to actually make the wristwatch. But in case wood pulp is a primary source, it is like having to make milk or yogurt from milk. So, because it is primary source, so that is why you say, oh, paper is made from wood pulp. He brought a dash against his neighbors. Complaint, complaints, complaining. Of course, we need a noun here because we have a precision of article A. So definitely the only noun here we have is complaint. He brought a complaint against his neighbors. But at 8, he does the picture on the table. Laid, lay, lied, laying. With the kind of explanation I gave then, I think you should be able to pick this now. Having to say maybe, oh, is it that he laid the pictures, or he laid the pictures, light the pictures, or laying? So of course, he couldn't have light the pictures, which is past tense of lie. Then this is a perfect tense. So we should be preceded by article, some sort of anomalous verbs. So now we are left with lay and lay. So you are talking about having to kind of spread the pictures. So you are talking about for it to be seen. So it does the pictures on the table. So we are looking for the past of it as well. The past of having to place it on ground for people to see. So that is, he laid the pictures on the table as well. Peter is dash Kaduna dash official assignment. Preposition. In, on, at, in, at, for, in. So Peter, of course, will be in Kaduna. That is settled. So which has actually has taken even every other one's out of point. Peter is in Kaduna on an official assignment. 40. Faith went to France with a view to dash him. Okay, well, we have some to infinitives. So when you have with a view to, accustomed to, look forward to, addicted to, accustomed to, when you're having them with to, infinitives, so the next kind of verb that should follow should be a gerundia, which is a nominal verb in its ing form. Faith went to France with a view to finding him. So any verb that must follow this, having seen the to, then the next verb must be a gerundia, not a pure verb, which is the ing formation. So with a view to finding him. If lion dash in, I would jump the fence. Comes, came, come is coming. Of course, like what we said under the principle of conditional statements. If the condition is in present, the complement should be in present. If the condition is in past, the complement should be in past. So also if it is in perfect, the complement should be in perfect. Now the complement is in past tense, pure past tense. I would jump the fence. Then definitely the condition should be in past tense. If lion came in, I would jump the fence. If lion comes in, I will. Then here will be I will jump the fence. If lion had come in, I would have jumped the fence. So that is why you have, it is per the kind of tense it comes that will determine the next verb. I am qualified for the job. Dash. Question tags. Of course, you cannot have amount. You say when you have a positive statement, you should have a negative question. But what kind of negativity comes with that of am? That is aren't. I am qualified for the job, aren't I? That is, aren't I qualified for the job? So 43. Celestine, along with our colleagues, dash the museum today. We have treated this for, I think, when we're talking about first subject agreement. So, talking about along with. So, it's a first joiner. So, Celestina is the only main subject here. So, being a singular, it's going to take a singular verb. So, Celestina, along with our colleagues, is visiting the museum today. So, since we are talking about Celestina, this colleagues is out of point because we have a first joiner here. So, Celestina, being a singular, is going to take a singular verb, is visiting. The poor woman has dashed to herself to fate. What do you do to fate? Of course, you resign to fate. So that is, you have actually taken it to yourself that, okay, this is what you cannot do or that you cannot overcome, then you resign to fate. The clergy, that's every day. For the success of the present government, the clergy. Clergy is a collective word. It is not used for just one person. So it's a group of people. So, of course, now, we have a lot of people before you call it clergy. So, if it's just one person, of course, you can say a clergyman. Okay? So, it's just like having choir. Only one person cannot be a choir. So, you can have a chorister or you are a member of the choir. So, you can be a member of the clergy. So, this tells us this is plural. So, that the next verb should be a plural. The clergy pray every day for the success of the present government. So, the verb will be without S to make it plural. And of course, we cannot have a praying because we are not talking about continuous verb here. Then, even if you are talking about continuous verb, not in praying, not in form of prayers. So, because pray is a sort of stative verbs. So, stative verbs are verbs that do not readily take ing in their continuous form. It's only when it is a gerund. So, since it's a stative verb, so we couldn't have neither option A nor B. So, option C, pray every day for the present government. Many are secondary school students. This is also akin to one of the questions we have treated. Many are secondary school students. So you are still talking about just one person, indefinite. Dash afraid of mathematics. Is. Because we're never told, it can be worse, but we're not told in the past. So it's still in the present. Many are secondary school students is afraid of mathematics. Because we have the agreement with many, which is indefinite. So verse 47. The man with his 3 wives and 17 children, regardless of the number of people joined, in as much as you have the joiner to be with, like I said, there is a first joiner. So the man will be the one to determine the verb. Regardless of the number of people, the 3 wives and 17 children, it is out of point to what will determine the verb here. So the man is the major subject here. So the next verb should be a singular verb. The man with his 3 wives and 17 children has just traveled abroad. Has just traveled abroad. Your next verb should be a singular, not have. The dash arrived in Lagos by now, all things being equal. Had, must, might have, would have. Yes, definitely here now, you should have a kind of anomalous. So that takes A and B out of it. Normally, B could have been an answer. At B, you have here. So definitely, we need a kind of one that has an anomalous. But and this one is not talking about probability. It is talking about kind of assurance, that is certainty. So they would have arrived in Lagos by now, all things being equal. So that is more than probability, but it's talking about a sort of certainty. That looking at the whole thing now, they would have arrived in Lagos by now. 49. If I had gone to Lokoja, I'd had the opportunity of seeing the president. If I had gone to Lokoja, that is also a question on conditionals. So, then definitely this is a perfect tense. So, the next complement should also be perfect in nature. If I had gone to Lokoja, I wouldn't have had the opportunity of seeing the president. So that makes option C the answer. When I got to her house, she was still dash bed. So what preposition should be apt? In, on the, in the. So when I go to her house, that is, you want to mean that she was still sleeping. She's not awakened. So it means she was still in bed. Not with article D. She was still in bed. You can only be on bed when you are not sleeping. Perhaps maybe you are only sitting on bed and writing some notes, or you are seeing a movie. So, but when it comes to being asleep, then you are in bed. 51. I am afraid, you know. Father has been sleeping since 4 p.m. yesterday. It's about time, dash. It's about time. Any agreement with it's about time, it is high time. The next verb should be a past verb. So it's about time he woke up. Since you have it's about time, it has the same thing as it is time or it's high time. Then it is high time he woke up, or it's about time he woke up. The next verb should be past. 52. The project dash because of lack of funds. Fell over, fell out, fell through, fell in. For something to fail, because we are talking about lack of funds, then it fell through, which means to be unsuccessful. So it all fell through, which means failed. The miscreant tried to sow seeds of dash among the members. What kind of seed could he, and being a miscreant, could he have sown? That is discord. He had actually sown the seeds of discord among the members, being a miscreant. Of course, that is what they are doing. So that nobody will be in accordance terms. So he has sown the seeds of discord among members. 54. So, okay, getting to sound now. Words that have the same maybe vowel sounds as the one provided, which is the phonetical aspect of it. So where we have the sounds, vowels, consonants, phonetics, or rhymes. So here we will go to and quickly look at some of them. So we have book. So there are cases where we have short and long vowels, that is stressed and unstressed. So for U now, book, this is transcribed as short, which is just U, book. So meanwhile, we have other ones as long, that is cook, full, tool. We have cool to be short, which has the same production with book. We have short E being resonated here. Village, so short E. So the one that has short E is also what will be an answer. Pig. Pig is having short E. Or he has gone to the village. Pig. So the same, what you pronounce here is still what you pronounce under the A. So which is pig. Patch. That is the short A. Patch. We have stash, long, fear. Mad, option C. That is short A. Mad. That is an answer. This is also brave, which is not an answer. Mad. Market. Market. We need a short E here. Get. Mortgage. Mortgage. We have short E here. Mortgage. It's pronounced mortgage, not mortgage. or mortgage? Mortgage. So we have short E here that will answer for here. Enter, bachelor. So only option B contains the sound being needed here. Alright, so we have to check for some options that contain the same consonant sounds as the one represented by the letters or by the sounds themselves. So that goes to the next question, having done that of vowels. Business. Business. Of course, we have the S written here, but it is Z pronounced. Business. So we have to look for the option here that will be also pronounced as Z. Grace. Rice. Eyes. Sink. So option C, eyes. Eyes. Most often when you have S coming after vowel sounds, then the S are mostly usually pronounced as Z. Priest. Priest. When you have ED coming as the last letter after sibilants, then the next will be T. It will be pronounced as T. So that comes to priest. So we have, the only one we have here is past. Past. Priest. So this is question. Question. Castle. Castle. The T is not pronounced. Castle. Then past, which is the T pronounced here. Then lotion. 60. Calf. Calf. Although, thoroughly, trophy, of. So option C is pronounced trophy. That is the fee. While the F you see here is pronounced V. Of. 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 So unlike the OFF, had it been you have OFF here, that would be off. But for the singular F, then you have of. But for this, calf goes the same way as trophy. Teeth. This is a dental sound. Teeth. Though. Thought. Thought. Tank. Thought. Teeth. Thought. This is kind of dental and voiceless. The voiceless dental sound. So you put the tip of your tongue at the back of your upper teeth and you blow the sound. Teeth. Then we have thought. Then in each of these questions, you have the stress pattern, the correct stress patterns in the options. That is, which ones that have, the ones that have correctly syllabic stressed words there. So, demarcation. Demarcation. Most often in these polysyllabic words, their morphemes usually dictate where the stress pattern will be. So since it is a noun and ending in -tion, mostly they take penultimate syllabic stressed. So that is penultimate, that is first before the last, the next to the last syllable. So demarcation, option A. Option A, take the answer. The CA is to be heightened. Then imperialism. Imperialism. So we also have a noun ending in zim, most of which are stressed on the third syllable from the end. So I'm looking at it, we have 1, 2, 3. So imperial. So it should be pronounced imperialism, not imperialism. Imperialism. So that makes option C an answer. Intimacy. Intimacy. So that, okay, how is it all? The intimacy, not intimacy. The intimacy is also some sort of having to count, though it doesn't really have much of a morphological approach, because yes, we have intimate as the root word, then taken to be a noun, we have the intimacy that is changing from the adjectival form to the nominal form. But the CY ending in morphology usually take the first syllabic stress, not from the end, but from the beginning. So you have intimacy. So that makes option A an answer. Then, constitutional. Constitutional. The AL and the word. Constitutional, which is also an adjective. So, now even with the way it is being resonated, say constitutional. So, the TU, so ordinarily, any AL ending or shun ending words usually should have taken the penultimate, but in as much as it has become an adjective again, that is from constitution to constitutional, so that of the constitution, that is where it has the risen tone rather than the falling one, is still on the TU, constitutional. So option B, making it an answer. So hope you have actually understood most of the kind of questions brought and the way they are answered. And I believe if you actually get married very well to some of these questions and the way they are being answered, in fact, having been brought to you by the Rock Tutors online teaching at your doorstep, learning has been made easy. So whichever question or response you have, you can as well actually ask, so that in the course of your studies, not only for the UTME, also of course for other kind of exams you want to write or you wish to write, you can easily actually have yourself being tutored well. So, and thank you.